Good afternoon, everyone. Wednesday, March 15th, 2023. Spring is around the corner. A new season, a new year in the Persian calendar, what we call Nowruz, which means a new day. It's coming, and I'm excited for it here. It's still cold in New Jersey. Actually, last night it was snowing and raining. I was out with my son Aiden to an event that marks 1 week before the Persian New Year, the beginning of the spring, called Char-Shanbe Suri. And it's an event where we jump over fire. They literally light several little piles of wood, sticks, put them together and light several fires, and usually jump over 2 or 3 in a row. And its symbolic meaning is to really let go of whatever it is we're looking to let go of, whatever we're trying to overcome, the demons within, things that have been holding us back. It's a chance to kind of shed some skin and be ready to be reborn in the new year, in the new day. So it's something we did. We almost didn't go. It was very cold, rainy, snowy. The event was still on, and we took the long drive into Somerset, New Jersey. Aiden had some resistance as well, didn't want to do it at first, and I felt him, and I felt the same voices inside me, all those things we hang on to, hold on, that hold us back, that literally weigh us down. And so finally, we worked up the courage together, made the leaps, and I feel better for it today. And it's really a whole process. It's a beautiful ancient wisdom. If you don't know much about it, it's something I'm happy to share a little bit. We create this beautiful festive table called a haft-seen, which haft means 7 in Farsi, and it's 7 elements that you put around this beautiful ensemble, so to speak, which includes fish and other symbolic, mostly nature-driven messages and symbols that signify good health, good fortune, good luck, and things of that nature. And so in this next 7 days, we'll work on our haft-seen and put it likely in our living room table, light candles, there's a mirror. It's a lot of ritualistic components, and it's really a perfect time of year for it. I feel very blessed, and I think we all are very blessed to be living in this beautiful time, this beautiful planet and universe with these cycles of nature. As much as I love and appreciate warm weather, it's interesting to have the cycles, the winter, the fall, and the summer, to have to actually go through the challenges of the climate change and shift, and the rhythm of the planet, of the soil. It gives us an opportunity to really move our own life, with those cycles. And with that, I wanted to focus today on what nature is really looking for, with its rhythm, right? Nature's always trying to find balance and rebalance itself. Nature has order, and where it's out of order, it's always seeking to get back to that equilibrium. So what can we learn from that, from those messages of nature, and bring through these rituals like the Persian New Year and other thought systems? How can we bring that reflection into our own lives? Where can we find more order? Where do we need order? Where's there disorder? It seems like we're living in a world where there's a good deal of fragmentation, especially here in the US, in the West. There's a lot of demands, there's a lot of different influences, noise coming from social media, from mainstream media, from demands of life, the demands of work and family life. And it's very easy to get fragmented and to have our attention and our energy be fractured, divided, and dissipated and sucked away, essentially, by all these different forces and energy fields. And within nature, the example is there's a lot going on, but it moves in a more symphonic way. It moves in some type of coordination. So I'd like for us to reflect, as we're moving towards a second new year. We had January, And the kind of calendar new year, now we have another new year coming up, the beginning of spring, really the new year for Earth and the new day for nature, coming up a week from really yesterday. So as we approach that, I think it's a great reflection opportunity, whether you're using a paper and pencil or just conversational, or an app like our Time Bug app, a great example, an opportunity to use the vision board there for 2023 and revisit maybe what your New Year's goals were for 2023. Now that you're almost a quarter into it, it's a good chance for a quarterly reflection and kind of a springtime update. It's a good time to consider possibly adding new things into your vision board for the year. And again, I want to particularly focus on what areas of your life, of my life, of our planet essentially, and humanity need more order, right? Where are we out of balance? Where's nature seeking balance, and where's the nature inside of us needing to find its way back to an equilibrium? It's so common in our day and age to look at things in very siloed ways. So in this area of my life, that area of my life, and compartmentalize things. And we do that in health a lot, which is the problem I have with modern, Western medicine, which is very siloed, right? You have a heart problem, you go to the heart doctor, and they're only focused on heart-related issues, not that it could be from some other area, either another body part or some mental or emotional aspect of your life, which could be influencing your heart health. Of course, everything's connected and has an influence, but this holistic concept, which is the reality, which is the totality of how the universe works and nature operates in a holistic fashion. How do we bring that holistic kind of macro view and perspective into our own lives? And as far as I've understood and in my experience, just turned 49 years plus, still learning. Still, again, it's like a rebirth. My birthday was 11 days ago now, and that's another new year, right? So for everyone, that's a third new year. We have the Earth's New Year, the Persian New Year, the calendar New Year, and then your own solar birth calendar New Year. And it's another opportunity to, for me, to reflect on all the chips on the table, all the cards on the table, and where am I at across the board, right? That's the holistic perspective. We have to look at and try to take stock. It's like in accounting. You're looking at your different assets. You're looking at the different areas of your life and trying to understand where we may need more order. And I'll give one personal example for me, one thing that I'm looking at quite a bit more over this last couple of years, and it's one of my intentions for this new year that we're coming into, is just my personal and business spaces. I'm involved in a lot of different projects and I have a lot of things going on. So there tends to be a lot of material, whether it's paperwork, whether it's various types of items, products, so many things, technology devices, and it's all good and fine, but I'm concentrating more so, and I have an intention to put more order into my spaces on a daily basis, instead of saying, all right, on Friday I'll do the dishes, let them pile up during the week. How about after every meal, wash that fork, wash that plate, put it back, put things away. I'm well aware we can't always do that. I certainly don't always do that because often I'm on the go and looking to be expeditious about getting to the next thing on the list, the next event or meeting in my calendar. But again, you can move with speed, but moving with consciousness, with intention, and a sense of order. So that's one of my intentions, is to keep a sense of order in my spaces, which, as the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, as within, so without, really holds. If there's disorder inside and fragmentation and in my thoughts, my mental world and emotional world, and I'm thinking about 10 different things, usually those dishes are going to stay in the sink. That paperwork's going to stay out. Or if I try to think about where to put it, I get tired and I just shove it into a book or into a folder with a lot of other papers that, you know, I haven't figured out what a proper home is for them. Do I even need to keep this? Can I throw it in the garbage? So part of spatial order for me this year as a kind of the next level, I've done better at it over the last several years, but I want to keep evolving in that area. I'd like to be more minimalistic and hold on to less things. And that's another part, as we said about jumping over the fire, right? Jumping over the fire, as I was explaining to Aiden in the car ride back home, because he was very resistant. And then we had a good talk about it on the way home that, listen, if you don't let go of things, you know, 7-year-old Aiden doesn't let go of things as he's about to become 8 this year, it's going to be hard to grow. Can't hold on to all the things, the toys, for example, you used to play with when you were 3 and 4 and 5, because he always wants to keep everything. He's like a hoarder, right? And I have some of that mentality as well, trying to keep old memorabilia. It's nostalgic. But we need to make room for new things, both internally, energetically, emotionally, mentally, and externally with our things, our material items, right? So that's a huge, you know, theme that we're hitting on. Letting go, letting those things go into the fire. That's the nature of that fire jumping event, Char Shambe Suri as we call it. Jumping over the fires, we jump over, we just let go and purge that which we were ready to let go of, right? So that's what I want to encourage everyone as we head towards Nowruz next week. What is it you're ready to let go of? And being honest about what maybe you're not ready to let go of. Again, that's part of putting the cards and chips on the table, right? Lay it out. Lay it out. You know, it takes a little work and, you know, sometimes can be a little painful, but anything we don't bear in terms of our soul and putting things out, we're keeping it in and it's stuck somewhere and it's holding us back. I can speak, you know, directly to that because it's a work in progress for me, as it is for all of us. I recently had some tremendous releases and I feel lighter for it. I feel younger for it, even though I'm getting older, and it's like you feel looser and then you want to do more of it, but then you get stuck again, right? There's always like that next level challenge which you weren't ready for until you hurdled over the last challenge. So where can you find more order? Where can you put more order into your life, into your things, both physical, external, and internal? Always think about both. On an internal level, you could note emotionally, you could take a log of your relationships. That's another great area to evaluate as we're still in the first quarter of the calendar year and moving into the new springtime, Earth Day New Year. Where do you stand in your key relationships, or all of your relationships? It's a portfolio, isn't it? Write some of those down and see where you may have some karmic, unresolved issues, debts, not necessarily financial debts, but debts where someone did you a favor and or they've been there for you, maybe you haven't been able to be there for them. And it's okay to be honest about all of that, because we certainly don't have unlimited capacity. We can, there's unlimited potential, but there's a reality of our daily energy and how many units of energy we may have to give to ourselves and to others. That's another equation to continue to evaluate. How do you feel at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month? These are like the time bug review periods we like to look at. And then taking stock, doing your accounting. Why am I depleted at the end of the week when it's Friday? Or, you know, you're actually able to keep some of that energy you built by going to the gym, by meditating, by eating well, resting well, where you're able to build a good foundation and then keep some reserves, keep some energy and attention for yourself. Or did you just give it all away the minute you went to work or went out for a couple of drinks with your friends? A lot of different topics, but it all relates to the concept of coming back to balance and trying to mirror and mimic how wonderfully and beautifully nature operates in terms of resetting order and seeking harmony at all times. And being honest about where you are in the process, writing down a couple of areas going into the new year where you're seeking more order, both externally and internally, and where you're looking to bring, where things may feel a little bit out of balance, either in terms of relationships or certain emotions, could be depression, could be anxiety, whatever that may be. Reflecting on it, trying to come up with a strategy if the ones you have currently been utilizing aren't necessarily getting you to a place where you feel like there's progress in that area. I always find internal personal reflection to be the deepest chance for a real clear level of honesty, with myself. In addition to that, relying on others, trusted sources, whether it's part of some kind of community or group or family or close friend that understands you and how you operate, that can give you some reflections that could be helpful. It's always good to involve the goals of others and have others that can advise you or be supporters for your goals, whether those are internal emotional goals or material outcome type of goals. And again, this is something we account for through our time bug methodology, where you're not just only focused on yourself all the time, like that constant self-focus and self-care, which is great, but if our whole world is focused on ourself, it can become a bit narcissistic, where it's like, again, that's not holistic. What's holistic is that you're operating in an environment with others, and you can share energy, you're making energetic connections, supporting one another, finding harmony with nature, with others, and within that, you're able to play your role and kind of find a good vibrational, tone that you're playing within the world and the communities that you're part of. And that's really the essence of Nowruz and what we seek when we look to connect with nature and all of its vast and various parts that can come together in a real symphonic, beautiful system of life. And that's something we can, again, as above, so below, we can observe it, and then we can look to mirror it and bring that kind of order and harmony into our own lives. So I wish everyone a happy Persian New Year for all the Iranians and people that observe that, and for my Hermetic brothers and sisters, family. If you're interested in learning anything more about our Hermetic work and a lot of these references, I talk about Dario Salas a lot. You can look at his website, dariosalas.com, or growyourbeing.com, which is the main website for our United States branch of the Hermetic Philosophy School, or lighthouseworkshops.com as well, to possibly attend one of our workshops that we have in New York City. I mention that because there's a lot of references, and a lot of the language I use is related to that teaching, so it's important to give respect and reference and honor the places from which we were able to gain, some small slivers of knowledge, and that's what I feel I've been able to do and what I'd like to share with others. So wish everyone well going into the spring. Hopefully the weather gets warmer here in the Northeast, but we remember these cold days and when we had to brace ourselves and keep our energy strong and solid, and that's a good character builder, but we're ready for some warmer days. Happy New Year, Happy Nowruz. Peace.